Warabash, Oshabun. The Here's something that I want to let all of the viewers know. Remember a few months ago, Prime Minister Mohammed Shia al-Sudani visited the White House and he met with President Biden. And Prime Minister Sudani and President Biden agreed that resolving the exports through the Iraq-Turkey pipeline is an important issue. That was months ago, and we are still waiting. And while we are waiting, the costs continue to go up and up and up. This is now $19 billion has been lost. I will say that again, just so it's very clear in translation. $19 billion has been lost because the Iraq-Turkey pipeline has been closed since the month of March 2023. We are waiting for Baghdad to take action, and that is what we want from APIKUR. Yes, well, look, the discussions are between the international oil companies and the KRG and the central government of Iraq. So while there has been some meetings between the international oil companies and KRG, we are really needing for Baghdad to take the leadership and have a conclusion on this matter. Let me add something else. We have heard that the Iraq's Minister of Oil has been invited to visit the United States by the Biden administration. Now, we're still confirming the details, but if this is true, we think it is very important that Minister of Oil Ghani has resolved the Iraq-Turkey pipeline issues. So this would be an invitation that was extended by Washington to the Minister of Oil in Iraq. And APIKUR and our member companies will be in discussions with our friends in the Biden administration and Congress to ensure that any visit of Minister Ghani will include a discussion and update on the Iraq-Turkey pipeline. Everybody has a stake in this. Turkey has said that the pipeline is ready to go. International oil companies, we are producing oil. We are ready to put oil into the pipeline. But now there are the disputes that are related to the budget and contracts. It's going to take all three parties to work together to come to agreements that benefit everybody. For us at APIKUR, we want to make sure that any new contracts have a clear path of payments for past payments. Our companies are owed $1 billion, and we want a clear path for future payments. And we prefer that those payments are happening outside of the political system. We do not want our payments for oil production to be connected to budgetary disputes between Baghdad and Erbil. We've had some discussions about the cost of production. We APIKUR member companies are still waiting for an official proposal, a framework for discussions from Baghdad. We see that there are international oil companies like BP and other companies that are working well with Baghdad, and we want the companies operating in Kurdistan region to be treated in the same manner where our oil that we produce is part of Iraq's overall production, and it will benefit everybody. The required solution is to have modified contracts, and the modified contracts need to have a clear path for past payments and future payments. And those new deals must be agreed to by the international oil companies, as well as the KRG and the Ministry of Oil. Both the KRG and APIKUR member companies have all stated publicly that we think the best path is to sell oil at Ceyhan Port through SOMO. This is something that SOMO and the central government of Iraq has requested, and APIKUR member companies and KRG have publicly stated they agree. The export has not started yet because there are these other agreements related to budgetary and the compensation model that have not been put on paper and reviewed by the companies, the KRG, and the Ministry of Oil in Baghdad. We, as the companies, we do not have the ability to write our own contracts. This is something where Baghdad will have to put forth a model that would be agreed to by all parties. We are seeking for Baghdad to have additional meetings. Yeah, let me make one distinction that each individual oil company is negotiating its own contracts. APIKUR as an entity, as a group, APIKUR is not doing negotiations on behalf of the companies. That being said, the APIKUR members, we want to see modifications to the contracts that will make it very clear of how we will get paid for past and future oil sales. And we think once that is done, then we can work out any other details with the consent of all three parties. The most important thing is we need to see a formal proposal, formal written proposal for how Baghdad would like to have these contracts redone. We had a recent meeting, APIKUR members participated in a recent meeting with the Ministry of Natural Resources in Erbil. And our connections with the MNR are very close. Now, what we are having to wait on is for Baghdad to make a formal, a clear definition, a clear framework for how they would like to have any contractual changes. Also, some in Baghdad believe there needs to be an amendment to the budget law. Well, if the amendment to the budget law is required, then there needs to be proper politicians and officials who are pushing forth the budget law. We heard Prime Minister Soudani say this is an important issue to be resolved. Oh, there needs to be political action to create the policies and framework in place for the contractual changes. We're oil companies. We cannot make Baghdad's government do anything. Let's come on. Your friends my friends who are watching at home, all of your viewers, you know that everything in Iraq is politics, politics, politics. So we want to get past the politics as much as possible and take action that will benefit all Iraqi people. $19 billion lost is too much. Let's get the pipeline open. The American government continues to be in close contact with the government of Iraq and KRG. And the new Consulate General, Mr. Stephen Bittner in Erbil, he is receiving updates on the issues related to the Iraq-Turkey pipeline. He will hear from members, representatives of companies and APIKUR soon. And we know that this also affects other countries and other oil companies from Norway and Hungary and Canada and UK. We want Iraq to be a strong place for foreign investment, and getting the pipeline open will be a good signal to other industries, other businesses from around the world will see Iraq as a place where contracts are honored and prosperity is possible if the pipeline gets reopened.